No, this thumbnail is not a clickbait. I have really spent over 4K on UAD plugins because back in the days, they were really expensive. In today's video, I'm breaking down the 5 UAD plugins that completely changed how I master my tracks. But be careful, the last plugin, if it is not used properly, it will destroy your mix. It really happened also to me. Let's dive in. The first plugin that I want to show you is the Massive Passive. This is one of the EQ plugins for mastering in my opinion, and I have also this here in this video. I have explained it more in depth what it does. I really love this plugin, and let me show you what I did here. I boosted the highs just a bit to add air and open the mix, and you are going to see that I am boosting at 16K just a little bit here. This helps the track to breathe and it gives that polished top end. Then I went here and took out a little bit because this track is slightly bass heavy and we don't want the low end to overwhelm the mix. That's why I did a 68 here at 68, just a bit cut here and also a bit more cut here at 560 because I wanted to separate the low with the mid and the highs. These are just really some small adjustment there. The Massive Passive sounds really amazing, but it is a really DSP heavy plugin. And if you're running low on DSP, you can swap it for the Pultic EQ on the UDX, which is a really great alternative for adding air without overloading your system. Next up, we have the Shadow Hills Mastering Compressor. This thing is a beast when it comes to gluing a track together. Right now, I am using here the discrete mode, this one here, which means we are getting a little bit of character, but we are going to keep it clean for the mastering. So right now it sounds like this. We have a really slow attack and a really quick release. I love so much this the Shadow Hills Mastering Compressor because it has a really special sound in my opinion, and if you watch here carefully, we are going to see that I am not overdoing it. My goal here is not to go above 1 dB reduction. I just want just enough to tighten everything without killing the dynamics. Now this plugin is not the easiest to use. If you don't know what you are doing, it can really make your mix like the worst. But when you are using it right, that's so much kind of a depth there. I could spend like hours talking about this compressor, but if you want a detailed tutorial on how to dial in this compressor, let me know in the comments below. By the way, if you are enjoying this breakdown and you are finding these tips helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now let's go and talk about loudness, which we are going to achieve with the third plugin. A lot of people struggle with getting their tracks to sound like full at present without just pushing the limiter too hard. This is where the Oxford inflator comes in. It is also available from the Sonox company and from UAD, and if you do a null test you will find out that it is the same plugin. I just bought this from Sonox directly because it was so overpriced when I wanted to buy it on the UAD. Let's have an idea what this plugin does. The main two faders that we are going to use here is the effect and the curve, and if I go with my mouse you're going to see that the effect fader sets the amount of the overall inflator effect that is applied to the program. Output overloads are entirely avoided when the effect level is set to maximum position, 100%. And if I go here on the curve, it's a bit more text. The curve fader modifies the processing characteristics and sonic effects of the inflator. If you set it between 0 and plus 50, it is going to provide increasing fatness and volume enhancement. And if you set it between 0 and minus 50, you are going to produce the most subtle changes to the sound. So how I go and use it? Just leave the curve at the beginning at 0. And if you have a look here, I'm just going to overdo it a little bit here. You're going to see that we are boosting like 2 dBs right now. But what the inflator does, it adds some harmonics. Have a look here how the waveform is going to change while I boost a little bit here the effect. might be thinking, yes, okay, I'm adding a bit of dBs, but let me go here the output. And right now we are hitting without the plugin, let's say, at minus 8.6, somewhere there. And we're almost like 0.6 dBs difference. But if you listen carefully, you're going to hear that with the Oxford inflator right now, it sounds much more powerful. Of course, the 100% it's a bit overdone, but I just want to show you how the inflator works. And I would go and mix it in and then work with the curve. I think that even with the same output level, the track sounds bigger and it is more energetic. This is why so many engineers swear that the Oxford inflator is a must-have plugin on your master chain, especially if you're using the UAD plugins. The next plugin is from Sonox again, and it is the Oxford limiter, which works similarly to the inflator, but it's more about control and final volume. I use this one when I need to just push the track even harder without clipping or introduce some distortion. One of the biggest features to achieve this is the safe mode. This helps to keep the sound clean even when you are really driving the limiter. For example, right now it sounds so much distorted. The difference is there, but of course you're not going to use one like at 120%. I'll just go and use it like this. Without the safe mode, you might get some unwanted harshness, but with it on, everything stays smooth and punchy. Of course, if you not overdo it like I did here. Alright, now let's go and talk about tape emulation. The ATR master tape is my go-to when I want to add some depth and analog warmth to a track. I love how it rounds out the highs and adds a bit of saturation, but if you're not careful, you can easily destroy your song again. So right now, you are going to see that this hiss that changes the whole time. If I go and open here and deactivate the hiss and hum, right now we are having this curve here, and you can see that the curves are really smooth. I have like a 2 dBs here on the highs, and some boosting here at 0.5 dBs somewhere there, and some attenuation at 60 Hertz. And again, you have also really great presets here. You can start with them. But what I really like here is that you have some different options. And if I go and change this one here, you're going to change so much. For mastering, I would highly recommend to go and choose between 15 and 30. And 30 is the highest resolution, let's say, from the track. But let's have an idea what it really does. can hear right away that when I go, let me curve again, you're going to see that, for example, when I have the 250, it boosts so much the highs here that in my opinion, it's not how it should be. But if you like this sound, you can go and work with it, or you can go this one here. And again, you are going to see some different things. For example, right now, it opens the mix like a lot. And if this is your sound that you want, you are going to see that it boosts like so much here. If you want this sound, you can go and use it. Well, as I already said, some presets add really just a slight tip of compression effect, while others also really color the sound. And it's all about finding the right balance. If you push it too hard, you're going to start losing clarity. So always A/B your settings and make sure that you're not overdoing it. I know that a lot of people do not use the UAD plugins, but most of you use the FabFilter bundle. For this reason, I have put together a FabFilter mastering course where I show you exactly how to get commercial level loudness and clarity using only FabFilter plugins. In this course, you are going to learn step by step how to glue your mix together, enhance your dynamics, and get that pro sound. Check the link in the description below. So, those are the 5 UAD plugins that completely changed my mastering workflow. By the way, I want to hear also from you which one of these plugins do you use, or which one do you think you can go and apply on your mastering chain? Let me know in the comments below. Now that you have got the mastering side covered, the previous step is also really important, and this is one to making sure that your arrangement keeps the listener hooked from start to finish. In my previous video, this one here, I break down dual slip pass arrangement tricks and show you exactly how to structure a track for a maximum impact. See you there.